It is being called a dark moment for America. The targeted shooting of conservative political activist Charlie Kirk during an outdoor event at Utah Valley University.
The timeline, those interactions of what he had before the incident, immediately following the incident, we're really just scouring, looking for any evidence.
There's overwhelming evidence. The only question is whether he's going to live or die. Is he going to get life or is he going to get death?
A secret audio recording tied to Charlie Kirk's killer has just been leaked to prosecutors, and it's shaking the entire investigation to its core. The tape is brutal, coded, and impossible to ignore, filled with words that sound less like a confession and more like a command. What this leak reveals could blow open everything we thought we knew about Charlie Kirk's assassination.
The state is further alleging aggravating factors on counts 1 and 2 because the defendant is believed to have targeted Charlie Kirk.
Tonight, prosecutors are in full panic mode after a secret audio file, allegedly from Charlie Kirk's killer, was leaked to the press. The file wasn't supposed to see the light of day, but now that it has, what's inside is shattering the entire narrative. What was once called a simple lone gunman case now looks like something coordinated, coded, and planned to perfection. The audio doesn't sound like a confession. It sounds like a mission briefing.
I got a lot of questions on the time frame because people want to know, how was he picked up so fast? How was he autopsied so fast? And how was he embalmed so quickly?
Forensic teams describe the voice as cold, detached, and precise. In one line, the speaker says, C2 to T1, clean. That might sound meaningless, until you realize that Charlie Kirk's fatal wound passed through the exact same vertebrae, from C2 down to T1. Coincidence? Or coordination? So what is this audio really? Is it a confession, a coded order, or a cover-up being narrated in real time?
So my assumption is that everybody went into the office immediately.
Sources inside the courthouse say prosecutors were already struggling to keep this file sealed. But when digital forensics recovered the metadata, everything changed. Part of the recording appears to have been made after Kirk's death. The voice continues giving orders. Phase 2 begins when they stop asking. That single line froze the entire room. If the timestamps hold up, this wasn't a stray message sent before the shooting. It was a directive for what came next. Investigators thought they had the case wrapped, every piece of evidence neatly filed. That illusion shattered the moment they cracked open the shooter's phone. What they found wasn't routine chatter. It was quick, abrupt calls, deleted texts, encrypted voice notes, and then the message that made everyone go silent. Target secured. Panel 3 cleared. Now the entire investigation has shifted. Was this the rambling of a lone, unstable gunman? Or was it the cold, coded language of a coordinated operation? A network hidden in plain sight, giving orders in real time?
Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson.
The official story is neat and tidy. Tyler Robinson, the rooftop sniper, rifle in hand, acted alone. Case closed. But that version is starting to crumble under the weight of new evidence. There's no footage, none, showing Robinson actually reaching the rooftop. The same security cameras that caught every second of Charlie Kirk's arrival somehow malfunctioned for a precise 10-minute window, the exact time Robinson would have needed to climb up, assemble his weapon, and position himself for the shot. That's not coincidence. That's timing. And now, with the leaked audio revealing what sounds disturbingly like live tactical communication, investigators are asking the question that changes everything. Was Robinson really acting alone up there, or was someone guiding him every step of the way?
I'll tell you. Well, first, they want to get all of the evidence so that they can use that to possibly cross-examine the witnesses. But it's just discovery. It's trying to find out more for them.
Forensic experts who analyzed the background noise in the audio picked up faint clicks, possibly a second channel, or another person listening in. Some even claim to hear a faint echo of a second voice. If that's true, Robinson wasn't a lone wolf. He was a puppet. And that raises the question no one wants to ask. who was holding the strings? Minutes after the shooting, George Zinn, a 71-year-old retiree, walked into a police station and confessed. No weapon, no motive, just 2 words. I did it. At first, everyone dismissed him as delusional, but then the audio leak dropped, and the voice said, "Decoy boy moves." Suddenly, it wasn't so easy to dismiss. Investigators digging into Zinn's background uncovered something darker. Explicit material on his devices, the kind of content intelligence agencies have historically used as leverage. Was Zinn being controlled, manipulated, used as a human smokescreen to misdirect the public while the real shooter disappeared? If the decoy boy line truly refers to Zinn, then the confession wasn't random. It was staged. But who orchestrated it? And why was the public meant to believe an elderly man suddenly turned into a sniper?
They've got the
Megan,
gun that was his grandfather's, which
Well,
the bullets
the reason
match the
why-
bullet that was used on
Arthur,
Charlie.
explain how these cases come back on appeal
Okay,
all the
but
time.
just-
You got to
and
redo it
that's-
over.
So,
Go.
Mark,
Investigators cross-checked the leaked audio's environmental noise against surveillance data. What they found shocked even seasoned analysts. The echoes, traffic patterns, and ambient hum matched the rooftop of a downtown parking structure, the same one where Robinson's weapon was supposedly found. But the timestamp? Completely off. The recording's background noise places it hours after the shooting, meaning whoever recorded it might have been there after the fact, staging or cleaning up. So now the question becomes, was this confession recorded live? Or was it an operational follow-up meant to rewrite the timeline? Behind all the noise, a quieter story was unfolding inside Turning Point USA. A story that might explain why Kirk was targeted. Weeks before his death, Kirk created an internal audit division he jokingly called the Doge Department. At first, staff thought it was about cryptocurrency donations. But insiders now confirm it was deeper than that. The audit was tracking financial irregularities, missing donor funds, crypto transfers to offshore wallets, and unaccounted transactions that tied back to unnamed contributors. According to Candace Owens, Kirk's audit was getting close to uncovering something massive.
Metal detectors are just too crude compared to imaging. We really want the imaging, especially in a murder investigation.
Now, forensic linguists have matched terms from the leaked audio, harvest, Doge cleared, panel 3, to internal audit terminology. Panel 3 lines up with the third-party fund network the Doge Department was investigating. Harvest corresponds to periodic crypto conversions. Here's where everything goes from strange to impossible. The official report says the bullet entered at the neck, damaged the spinal column between C2 and T1, and stopped. No exit wound, no backdrop damage, no blood spray. For a .30-06 rifle, that's physically implausible. One forensic analyst even said, either the laws of physics broke that day, or something blocked the round.
When you x-ray the body, it can also be helpful to them before they do any sort of dissection to know what they're looking for and where about the location of the wound and the fragments might be.
That something might have been what the audio calls panel up. Investigators now suspect the use of ballistic panels, protective materials that could have stopped a bullet mid-flight. If that's true, then this wasn't a chaotic shooting. It was staged with surgical precision, an assassination disguised as a freak act of violence. So what was the purpose of stopping the bullet? To stage evidence? To create confusion? Or to test something even more sinister?
We have in writing to his trans furry lover, it was
Megan,
me.
we don't
It was
disagree with
me.
you.
Lance Twiggs, Robinson's trans boyfriend, was mentioned in the indictment, lived with Robinson, and shared his phone plan. Yet he wasn't charged. Prosecutors cited lack of evidence. But the leaked audio complicates that. Forensic analysts, isolating the second voice, say it may match Twiggs' speech patterns. They're not certain, but the similarity is unsettling. Now, think about this. Investigators found dozens of deleted messages between the two, many sent through encrypted apps. Yet when the prosecution presented those texts in court, The timestamps were missing. Missing timestamps mean you can't prove who sent what or when. If the second voice on the tape belongs to Twiggs, that means the shooter had a handler, and prosecutors might have looked the other way to avoid political backlash. Was Twiggs protected for ideological reasons? Or was he protected because someone higher up needed the story to stay clean?
And in the United States, any suspected homicide legally requires a coroner or a medical examiner autopsy.
In most high-profile killings, the autopsy becomes public record. But in Kirk's case, it vanished. No photos, no report, not even a summary. And buried in the leaked recording is a phrase that sends chills down investigators' spines. No cut, no report. 3 words. But if those words were instructions, to skip an autopsy, suppress evidence, or destroy findings, then this entire investigation was compromised from the start.
That will reveal bullets, fragments, and trajectory before they do the dissection.
Without the autopsy, you can't confirm the bullet type, its fragments, or even whether it matches the rifle found on Robinson's rooftop. Everything rests on faith in a system now being questioned. So what were they hiding? A mistake, or a cover-up too big to contain? Within hours of the shooting, every major outlet carried the same narrative. Lone gunman. Sniper. Case closed. Now, here's where the story starts to smell like something way beyond coincidence. 3, not 1, not 2, 3 separate rooftop cameras, all glitched at the exact same time. 10 minutes of total darkness. 10 minutes where every lens, every motion sensor, every automated backup feed went blank. And you guessed it. Those 10 minutes just happened to be the exact window when Tyler Robinson supposedly climbed to the rooftop, positioned his rifle, and lined up the fatal shot. Oh, how convenient. Now, the official word from security was technical malfunction. You know the good old oops systems failure line they pull out every time something important goes missing. But cybersecurity analysts weren't buying it. These weren't hardware glitches. They were manual overrides. Someone didn't just trip over a cord, they flipped a digital switch. Analysts traced the error logs, and what they found was chilling. Each of the 3 cameras was disconnected through a remote command using a secure administrator login. Same time, same access key, same origin point. And here's the kicker. That access key belonged to someone inside the building's private security contractor. So let's get this straight. The shooter's escape window perfectly aligned with a coordinated camera blackout triggered by an inside system. You see the pattern yet? Investigators went frame by frame through the corrupted footage, trying to recover anything. Most of it was static, flickers of white noise, ghostly glitches, like someone didn't just delete the footage, but scrubbed it clean. But in one single recovered frame, forensic experts spotted something that changed everything. 2 silhouettes, one clearly holding a long object, possibly the rifle. The other? Standing close behind, posture stiff, almost guiding. Forensics couldn't identify the second figure, but motion blur analysis suggested coordination, synchronized movement, like they were working as a team. And that raises the question that's been haunting the entire case ever since. Who was standing next to Tyler Robinson when the gun fired? Was it the mysterious T mentioned in the leaked audio? Was it someone from the supposed audit network Kirk was investigating? Or was it a handler, someone ensuring Robinson didn't screw up what was never meant to look like a solo act? The blackout wasn't a coincidence. It was coordination. Deliberate, timed, executed with precision. And if that's true, then the official lone shooter narrative just took a direct hit. But hold on, because what came next sent shockwaves straight through the prosecution's office. Within 24 hours of that audio leak reaching prosecutors, the entire tone inside the investigation shifted. Suddenly, no one wanted to talk. No one wanted to touch the evidence. The file, once hailed as the breakthrough in the case, was quietly labeled "Do Not Circulate, Chain Unverified." According to insiders, the moment analysts began syncing the leaked audio with cell tower data, panic rippled through the office. Because one of the timestamps in that file didn't just match the time of the shooting, it matched the movement of a government-registered vehicle parked 2 blocks from the scene. And when forensic teams cross-referenced GPS data, they found something prosecutors really didn't want to see. That same vehicle belonged to a federal liaison temporarily assigned to local security detail the week of the assassination. That's when things got weirdly quiet. Meanwhile, an internal memo surfaced, allegedly from one of the assistants in the evidence division, claiming the audio contained a reference to a sealed witness under protection. The exact line? Witness safe. Chain 3 locked. Sounds like nothing, right? But in the context of the case, that phrase raised serious red flags. Because there's only one person in the witness protection list tied to this investigation. Someone who was last seen with Robinson just days before the shooting. If that person's identity was encoded in the leaked audio, then someone on the inside knew exactly how to manipulate the evidence trail, right down to who would be silenced next. That revelation alone turns this case from a simple act of violence into something far darker. Why would prosecutors bury a piece of evidence this explosive?
That Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI.
That 10-minute blackout that everyone brushed off as a technical glitch might not just be missing footage, it might be the exact moment everything changed. The leaks tell a different story than the one being sold to the public. Governor Spencer Cox accidentally referenced details that never appeared in official evidence. Surveillance failures were conveniently explained away, and ballistic inconsistencies were quietly ignored. Every contradiction was smoothed over with careful language, as though someone was editing reality itself. But now, with the leaked audio connecting the ballistics, the confession, and coded tactical instructions, the lone shooter narrative is falling apart piece by piece. Just like in the cases of JFK and MLK, the pattern repeats, always a lone wolf, always a random act, until the files leak years later and the real network behind it surfaces. If history repeats itself, what happens when the rest of this audio goes public? Because at this point, it's not about one man with a rifle anymore. The recording reveals something coordinated, someone giving orders, someone cleaning up evidence, and someone making sure the story never changes. The missing footage, the decoy confession, the silent partner, the hidden audit, the missing autopsy. Every thread leads to one chilling truth. This wasn't random. It was rehearsed, staged, and executed with precision. And yet, the mainstream media still parrots the same official line. Lone shooter, rooftop sniper, case closed. They repeat it as if saying it enough times will make it true, ignoring forensic contradictions piling up in their own archives. Bullet trajectories that don't align with the shooter's position. Autopsy files that mysteriously disappear. And a recovered frame showing two silhouettes on what was supposed to be an empty rooftop. All conveniently omitted. It's as if the facts themselves are now considered a threat to the narrative. Even Governor Cox's strange remark about an unusual outfit at the scene has been wiped from every official transcript, quietly deleted from archives, and erased from cached pages journalists tried to save. If it was meaningless, why scrub it so fast? Meanwhile, the leaked audio has thrown everything into chaos. Zoom out, and the pieces start forming a much larger picture. The leaked audio doesn't just reference the shooting. It connects every missing element. Charlie Kirk's secret audit, George Zinn's decoy confession, the vanished autopsy, the camera blackout, and the unindicted partner known as Twigs. This isn't about left or right, or politics at all. It's about power, money, and silence. About who gets to decide what truth is allowed to surface. And here's the unsettling part. If this is just one tape, How many more are sitting on encrypted drives, waiting to be discovered? Like this video and subscribe to the channel to get more information on Charlie Kirk's murder case.